Hello everyone, and welcome to A Cold Love Story. I think this is a pretty interesting title. It's like a short little visual novel. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty well done, surprisingly enough. So let's start it. I sent the text to my friend Max. Look at this is awesome. A cold love story. The bus was already 20 minutes late. It was late November, and it was cold. So damn cold. My eyes burned against the outside air, and each intake of breath was like swallowing razor blades. Everything was dim, tinted a dull blue. All was eerily still, seemingly frozen in time. Mercury in the thermostats had settled to the bottom, stagnant and crystalline. I could see my breath as it shimmered against the thin air, warping, and climbing upwards in despair before vanishing. Even the trees, long dead with crooked, empty limbs, appeared to be shaking against the cold. Frost and ice glinted sharply in the faded sunlight, clinging on and threatening to overtake the trees. The occasional glimmer of sunlight seemed so distant, its hazy blue glow so utterly small and insignificant against the frozen vastness. The crunch of snow could be heard as I walked, a crisp, sharp sound cutting through what was otherwise dead silence. I stopped for a minute. It seemed as if I was the only one in this world. A world of cold, of stillness, of nothingness. Neither the heat of a friend, nor the joy of their company existed here. I was taking a note of all this with my eyes closed, so as to keep them from freezing, when I began to hear the crunching of snow. It's like really out of place with the background, though. Huh? Sarah? Strange for her to be late. I always met her at the bus stop. Or at least had been for the past week or so. I was glad of it, too. I used to hang out with my good friend Jenna, but she hadn't been showing up for the past week. ... And that was just Sarah to keep me company. She was absolutely beautiful. Sweet and funny, too, but for some reason, I never really saw her with any friends. I suppose this was because she had just moved here to Colorado. That, and because all the guys I knew were too afraid to even talk to her. I guess that's why she stuck with me all the time. In fact, she actually seemed extremely lonely. Interesting. Oh shit! Really? I'm just staring at her. Wave awkwardly and say hello? Yeah, why not? Hey! Ha ha! Hi, John! So, weather, right? Ha ha ha! Good one, John. Fucking John. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at those eyes. Shit. It's good to see you, John. Haha, good to see you. Whoa, wait, what? Sarah, you're just wearing a t-shirt and short shorts? Crazy. Is she insane? Give her your coat, dude. Crazy. You're crazy. Please take this. You're too sweet. Thank you. Sure. Happy to help, Sarah. But what has gotten into you? The bus is already really late. It might not be coming at all. You had plenty of time to get a coat. No, I wanted to use your coat. I have no idea what to say to that. She never acted like this before. Why is she being so weird all of a sudden? Sarah! Ask why she's wanted your coat. Just smile and nod. Giggles. I can't laugh. Won't you be cold now? Her hand forcibly grabbed mine. My mouth moved, but words were nowhere to be found. It's okay. Haha. I'll just freeze to death. That's cool. She began taking off my coat in horror, meaning to give it back. Wait! I cried in panic. I was joking. Hey! I grabbed her arms to try and stop her. The instant my hands closed around her, her face flushed bright red. She stopped in her tracks. Oh. it's a bit creepy, but 10 out of 10. Super awkward. Sarah? I let go of her instantly. Her sudden grin was so horrific and out of place I felt my skin blister with ice. It crawled across her face like a disease, eating away at her flesh and peeling black, cold lips. Where the hell had this come from? It was incredibly disturbing, so much so that I began to sweat despite the cold. I had to do something, anything, to get rid of this ghastly expression. Comment about the weather. So, haha, pretty crazy storm, right? Oh. Storm? She questioned, straight-faced, eyes returning to focus. Yes, I suppose that must be why the bus isn't coming. It's been too long. Where is it? It must be a snow day. Yeah, you're right, but I should have gotten an email. Strange that didn't get through to me. That's when I saw it. A faint grin beginning to carve out her face again. And it goes away. Sir? And it goes away. Sheepish and hidden. Wait. Did you? I wouldn't have been able to see you. If you knew there was no school. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. That's awesome. That twisted grin continued to stretch her face further and further, eating away at her pale skin. The wind howled and crystalline needles bit at my exposed skin. Suddenly, she laughed, grabbing onto my waist. You better stay close, otherwise you'll catch a cold. My mind was in full retreat mode now as I began backing up. I tried to wiggle free of her grasp, saying, haha, yeah, just remain calm. She snuggled in closer and closed her eyes as I tried to steady my breathing. My hands were in the air, my body rigid and taut as my heart convulsed with unease. I drew several shaky breaths and looked down at her. Her smile now appeared rather peaceful. I questioned that. Was this really all that bad? Yeah, a little bit. A lot of guys I knew would have done anything to be in this position. I mean, I know some people that want to be in that position, but I mean, really? She just wanted to see me was all. ... Yeah, it was actually kinda sweet of her. Albeit a little drastic, yeah. That's when I saw the dark crimson stains on her legs. Is she on her period? No, probably not. She probably killed someone. Is that blood? Let's go to your house. She suddenly squealed, ignoring my horror. Aw. Don't you need your coats? I'll take them for you. Ignore the substance and agree. Push her back into bed in explanation. I think if it is her period, then we shouldn't say anything. If she killed someone, it's not a good idea to press the argument. I began walking hesitantly. I pronounced that wrong. I felt sick, torn between concern and fear. Surely she was just having an off day, or messing with me in a cruel, drawn-out joke. There was an explanation here somewhere. Being suspicious of her was getting me nowhere. She clung to me tightly as we walked. I tried desperately not to shiver and sent her on another episode. We were nearly to my driveway when my phone suddenly buzzed. It emanated a soft ding. Stealing a glance at the screen in my pocket, I could see that it was Max. He had finally texted me back. Ignore the message. I just left the phone in my pocket, feeling Sarah's hand softly grip mine. It wasn't 3 steps later that I was suddenly jerked back, almost losing my balance on the slick ice. I turned around to see that Sarah had stopped cold. Her hands gripped so tight around my own that I could almost hear the bones breaking. I let out a gasp of pain and tried to pull my hand free, but she wouldn't allow it. Who was that? The usual cheer was all but gone from her voice. You think I wouldn't notice? Who was that? God. I'm gonna tell the truth. Because if we lie, she'll know. I just feel it in my veins. The truth. It's Max. Read the message. It's Max. My friend? Question mark. Is he my friend? Is he really my friend? I drew a breath, still cringing in pain as I opened the message from him. He was just telling me about... Yeah, of course I'm at school. Where the hell are you? T-Mobile MK. It's, yeah. What a phone. It's better than my phone already. My blood froze. I stared at the screen as my chest tightened. Telling you what? I turned to look at her, my hands beginning to shake, having nothing to do with the cold. Sure, my face showed my horror and confusion, but if she saw, she didn't let on. I could feel her chilling gaze stabbing at my numb skin. Telling you what, John? Truth. Confront her about what Max, we're gonna lie. Try to keep her calm. Just about how much he likes snow. Slowly, her cute face reappeared and her grip lightened as she smiled at me. We began walking again. What do you think of him? There was still a hint of malice in her quiet voice. What? Max? Is he a good friend of yours? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've known him for a while is all. Her hands slowly balled into tight fists, nearly crushing my own hand as she muttered something under her breath. That's when she turned into my driveway and started walking down, leading me. How did she know where to turn? How did she know this was my driveway? Ignore it. I took a few long breaths and tried to calm myself down. I'm cold. We should go inside. My lungs were shaky and weak, my breath doing very little as I talked to myself. It must have been a misunderstanding. I'm not even sure if I believed that myself, but it was better than thinking of the alternatives. People didn't just snap like this. There was more going on here, and pushing Sarah away wasn't going to get me any closer to an answer. And besides, I was actually going to freeze to death out here. Say nothing, just go inside, apologize for acting suspicious. Why not? Hey, gosh, Sarah! I'm sorry. This whole day has been a bit weird, I guess. I keep thinking I keep thinking strange thoughts, like I'm paranoid or something. I don't even understand it. We don't deserve to be treated that way. I know you've been having trouble fitting in at school. The last thing you need is me acting strange. I'm sorry. Listen, Sarah. Thanks. Thanks for being with me today. It would certainly be cold with or without you, but at least this way it's not boring. I'd like hanging out with you, so, thanks, and I'm sorry. Oh, she's all nice and happy now. My heart warmed as I saw her face shift ever so slightly. I mean, I guess it's kind of slight there, but... As if waking from a dream, her eyes glanced around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. Her sunken, lifeless features slowly ebbed away as for the first time today. A believable smile flickered into view. One that didn't appear forced or fueled by delusions. No problem, John. Thank you. Female voices. Backstory. Hey, Sarah? Yeah? Could you maybe tell me a little about yourself? What? You don't have to, but I just want to maybe know a little more about you. Smooth ooze. I guess. Okay, John. I don't like talking about it, but I can give you some drawings. I'm not very good. Promise me you won't look at them until later. I promise. This is, let's go through this. Excuse me. 17 times. End of part 1. So, granted, none of this is real, but that is some fucked up shit. And similar stories have happened before. I don't know. Okay, Sarah, I'll just put these in my backpack for now. I totally looked at them, by the way. I'll look at them later. Wink. Thank you, John. So we sit out here for you to draw all that. Like that must have taken a bit of time. As we began walking down the driveway to my house, I looked at her and took a heavy breath, calming my nerves. I only hoped that her strange behavior had subsided for good. We trudged through the softly accumulating snow. I'd been too lazy to shovel it with my parents, having left for Hawaii a week ago. What dicks, leaving their son home to go to Hawaii in the winter. Ironically, as much as it pissed me off to imagine them on a beach while I was stuck here, I was insanely glad that neither of them would have been home for a few days, so I wouldn't have to explain Sarah to them. We reached the door and I fumbled for my key. I finally grasped it, unlocked the door, and jumped inside before too much warm air escaped into the bitter cold. I immediately started up a fire, not really realizing how cold I had been until at that moment. Look at this background, it's pretty fucking great. I looked over at Sarah, taking out the jackets and folding them neatly before placing them down gingerly by the entrance. Her movements were strained, her spindly limbs tired and weak. So she's supposed to be cute, you're gonna call her fucking spindly? She appeared to have a normal mental state now. But as she finished up and her eyes glanced at me, I couldn't help but tense a little. Oh, back with her crazy eyes. Hey, Sarah? My heart had begun to pound, distrust and fear suddenly reclaiming me. What if... Did she know where my room was? That might be a way to check on whether or not I'm overreacting. That's dumb. Never mind. I'm just going to go get a jacket from my room real quick. Do you want anything? I'm okay, John. Thank you. Alright then. I'll be right back then. I quickly ran up the stairs to my room. I grabbed my doorknob only to recoil in shock. It was freezing. I could feel a draft of frozen air seeping out from under my door. I gingerly grabbed the handle with my fingertips and slowly opened it, letting loose a blast of frigid air. Didn't notice that earlier today? It felt like a window had been left open. Now that I thought about it, I remembered my room being freezing that morning as well. And really, quite drafty for the past week. Check the windows. Ignore it. Ignore it. I better just grab my coat and get back to Sarah, quickly. Ugh. Probably just have to sleep downstairs by the fire until I figured out the problem. I quickly grabbed my hoodie and closed the door to my room. I walked back downstairs. Sarah was gone. Hey? Sarah? Where the hell had she gone? Hello? A sudden clattering sound resounded from the kitchen. My heart spasmed at the sudden noise, my hand rushing to clutch at my chest. Well, check the kitchen. She's probably just making us food. Know how them bitches are. Sorry. I casually walked towards the kitchen, my heart pounding despite my attempts to control it. A very eerie noise. There was no one inside. My eyes narrowed. Was that a pan on the floor? Really? Is that a pan? That must have been what caused the sound. Call for Sarah. Hey, Sarah? Sarah? Hello? Where are you? No response. Go back to the living room. I hesitantly peered back into the living room, walking slowly. Where the hell was she? That's when I suddenly heard someone descending the stairs. I whirled around to see Sarah bounding down them, slinging her backpack over her shoulder. It seemed to be empty now. That's weird. She's like drop off, like, is she gonna stay here? She just like dump her stuff. Also, by the way, well, I mean, I guess during the time that John went to the kitchen, she could have ran upstairs real quick. She was hiding. But, like, I feel like he should have noticed her going upstairs. Where had she even come from? What had she done? Ask her to leave, ask her what's in her backpack, ask her what she's doing. Ignore it. Offer hot chocolate. Hey, Sarah. Welcome back. Hey, John. She smiled cutely. So if you're staying for a bit, how about some hot chocolate? Or something else? It's whatever. Haha. Ha. Sure. So long as it's okay with you. Do you like hot chocolate, John? Sure. Haha. Way more than coffee. Then I like it too. But I'll make some for you. Oh, alright. Thanks. Thanks, Sarah. Sure. Anything for John. Hey. These sounds are hurting my ears. We walked to the kitchen, Sarah taking the lead. Before long, she had made some hot chocolate, using water in my little packets of mix. Nothing fancy. She held her own cup down at her side, eyes trained on me. How is it, John? My chest tightened. What was this feeling? Oh, it's, pretend to drink some. She made it in front of you. If it kills us, whatever. I slowly lifted the cup, taking a small sip. Haha, it tastes great. Very, hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, what the fuck? Come on. Her eyes again cleared slightly, a sort of calming sanity washing over her. Backstory. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, John? Listen, I may have looked at those pictures you gave me like a dick. No, listen. It's okay. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Sarah. This is a lot. Listen, if it means anything, I promise, I'll never let something like that happen to you again. Exclamation points. No one deserves any of that. I really appreciate you showing me all of that. But there's more. Isn't there? This time, you really can't look until later, okay? Alright. Wink. That's fucked up. That's super fucked up. That's not a horrible thought. That's a great thought. It's not her fault. Oh shit. of part 2. Now on to part thrice. Alright, I won't look until later. Wink. Thank you so much for being so open. No. Thank you. She dashed out of my house before I could respond. Her form disappeared in the frozen wasteland. Fallout. Slamming the door behind her. I sat stunned for a good minute. Where the hell did that come from? She hadn't even taken a coat with her. Imagining her in just a t-shirt in that brutal cold made me want to run after her. But I knew she was long gone by that point. Ugh. What a bitch. Should have ran after her. I would have ran after her. Come on. It was now well past 12 o'clock. The school would have called by now about my absence if it had been a school day. I let myself relax a little more. But it wasn't quite enough. This entire day was just a bit too much to handle. Maybe I was just worrying too much. Watch TV. Watch TV, why not? I sat on the couch, mindlessly flicking through channels. There was nothing good on. My phone suddenly buzzed. What? Who could have been texting me? I didn't text Max. Pulling my phone out my phone, I realized that it had just run out of batteries. Ugh. This had gone far enough. Even if there was school today, Max would have been home by now. At 12 o'clock? You're saying at 12 o'clock Max would have been home? That is false, sir. For him to keep this joke up so long, use your landline to call his house directly. Groaning, I stood up and picked up my house phone. I punched in his number and brought the phone to my ear. Dial tone. I tried again. Dial tone. Frustrated, I looked at the monitor. No service, it read. What? It was a landline. How is that even possible? Are you fucking serious? It must have something to do with the storm. I mean, yeah, that's possible. If you're fucking serious, you think a landline can't go out? Ugh. I suddenly realized that I should have been checking the news. They would hopefully have information about the possibility of school tomorrow. At the rate the storm was going, it wasn't likely. Check the news. Oh, it's gonna hurt, isn't it? I flipped to the channel. Ah! Fuck. Breaking news. Bus massacre. My heart practically stopped. I only heard the tail end. Not releasing images or further details regarding the bus accident. Then the cameras switched and they began talking about highway conditions. I felt an absolutely horrible sickness gripping me. It couldn't be. Could it? Surely that little dialogue I heard couldn't have been about. That would be ridiculous. I wasn't even sure what I heard. I was definitely overreacting. No. After all, Max was just playing a joke. So why didn't he ever text back? It's not if the police aren't releasing details about where and when it took place. School didn't report me absent. That's because my house phone isn't getting service. Nothing I said to myself made me feel any better. I tried in vain to calm myself down, but quickly realized that I had to know for sure. The house shook with gusts of winds, tremors being sent down every dark hallway. I stood up from my couch slowly, glancing at the snow beginning to plaster to the windows. Really? Although gray and dull, the flakes seemed to glow against the oppressive darkness as nighttime fell. I secured every layer I could find, grabbing my flashlight and taking several deep breaths. The frigid night air seemed to ripple with heat distortion. What? As the door swung open. I locked the door behind me and fumbled the keys into my pocket with shaking hands. I began walking the route that the bus would have taken, my pace slow, the sickness growing worse with every crunch of snow under my feet. The dim light from my house was becoming more and more distant. disappearing altogether as I turned a corner. It was now just me and the flurry of snow. The skeletal trees surrounding me groaned against the wind. Their twisted black shapes were silhouetted against the deep blue hue of the night. I hadn't seen another house for some time now. The families in my neighborhood were exceedingly spread apart, and the empty stretches of road seemed to snake on forever at points. More often than not, the snowplows didn't find the time to drive as deep in the community as I was going. I slowly came to a stop, hesitation shaking my heart. Keep going. I couldn't stop here. I had come this far. It was snowing. My ears. Please. It was snowing quite heavily, but I was still certain I would be able to faintly see the tracks of the bus if it had driven anywhere. Despite this, I hadn't seen its tracks in over a mile. Ordinary cars rarely ever drove up the way I was walking, and yet I noticed that the roadway was littered with the tracks of smaller vehicles. They looked fresh. That's when I saw something up ahead, barely visible in the haze. Lights, flashing red and blue just around the next bend. Whatever sanity I had left was quickly draining. Keep going. I approached the lights and peeked around the corner. Fuck you. They're surrounded by ambulances and police cars. A mangled mess of metal and shattered glass in my fucking ears, dude. Holy hell, dude. Sat the bus I had been taking for nearly 4 years. The windows were caked with blood, which was still a dark crimson red. Oh my gosh. Fuck you, Bert. Oh my god, I should have done that a long time ago. The windows were caked with blood, which was still a dark crimson red, perfectly preserved in the cold. The once hot, steaming liquid had frozen solid to the splintered glass, and cycling small bullet-sized holes. The ambulances are stuffed with body bags as the surrounding street was scattered with a few severed limbs. I swore I could see the steam softly rising from the dead white appendages, as they were ever so slowly covered in drifting snow. There were several police officers conversing among themselves. Surely I couldn't be caught here. I looked downright suspicious. Yeah, I don't think you'd be in trouble, but was it worth listening closer? Yes. I snuck slightly closer, carefully measuring my steps. I can only make out a few words in jumbled phrases. Hacksaw. Remove postmortem. ... A few pieces. Missing. One of them suddenly stood upright, gaze darting around the surrounding area. I staggered back, blind terror forcing me into retreat. I began sprinting back to my house, trying to keep my stomach down as my heart lurched rapidly. I reached my front door and frantically fumbled for the key with my numb fingers. Looking behind me into the inky darkness, I finally got the key in the lock and turned it. But suddenly, a knock on glass, coming from above me. I looked up slowly, heart pounding. There, in the window above me, the window to my room, I couldn't see much of anything. The light was off, which was a problem, because I knew I had left it on. Oh, I'm so glad I turned down the sound. Fuck! Fuck! Was that Sarah? The realization made me stumble back, fear negating my ability to breathe for a second. Her face had been pressed up against the glass, but it was so wrong, horrific, and I definitely should not have been able to see it from here. That horrible, gut-wrenching smile on her face. How the hell did she even get in? I swallowed hard. Sirens droned behind me in the distance. It was time to make a choice. I could run back to the police, like a smart person, save myself, put this entire thing behind me, never learn anything about what happened here on this cold day. Oh, I think we know. I think we know. Or I could go inside and maybe get killed. That's not even gonna give me the choice, is it? Yeah, no. I can't do that. That would ruin the story. If I wanted to be safe, I would have run away a long time ago. No, you'd wait for a good opportunity if you wanted to be really safe. It was time to finish this. No way am I gonna bitch out like I've done my whole life. No, this is the time to bitch out. It's time to go inside. I took a deep breath. Dumbass. Sarah? Hello? What are you doing in here? What a bitch. My voice trailed off. A wind gust streaked outside, dim moonlight dancing through the empty rooms of the house. If Sarah was still inside, she wasn't saying anything. Wait. What the hell is that noise? It sounded as if something was falling down the stairs. Something heavy. I could only see the base of the stairs, so unless it fell all the way down. Oh no. Oh, yep. It's kinda changed a little bit. You didn't give me time to prepare this one like the others. I gave you all the time I could. Which is a shame. After all, you said he was your friend. The ghoulish head dripped softly in the darkness. It was so pale and mangled that I didn't immediately recognize it as Max. A horrible expression was forever imprinted on his face as his eyes stared straight ahead, wide and unblinking. There. What are you doing on the ground for? Are you sick? Catch a cold? Sarah will make it all better. Isn't that right, John? Right, John? You need me to make you better. Make you better. Oh god. This is the choice of ages, man. That one. Watch you feet on the steps. Watch your feet on the steps. Don't let go of my hand. Shh. It's okay. Oh, yep. That's creepy. Blushes. It's cold in here, you know? Maybe if you just held me. My friends. Shh. John's friends are all here. Mrs. Bus Driver Lady is over there in the corner. Yeah, that he had two friends, Max and Mrs. Bus Driver Lady. The fuck? You don't need anyone but me. Others will try to change you. Corrupt you. But I didn't want you getting lonely either. Not like me. So I kept your friends here. Most of Jenna is in your closet. I cut a hole in your roof above the closet so she could stay there longer. Room temperatures is no good for friends. It must be cold, like outside. I've let her be with you all week. Okay, someone would have noticed that. He would have to notice that. A rotting corpse. I mean, even if, like, say it's in a closet and there's a hole in the roof, either he would have noticed, like, how that would have been freezing, or he still would have noticed. Like, fuck. But there's only me to love now. Don't you understand how I am protecting you? I love you, John. Much more than your parents. Your parents wanted to leave you, but I made them stay with you. Made them stay under your bed. And he would especially notice that. It's not like his room is going to be like... His room would have to be like below a very low temperature for like the rotting corpses to not, you know, smell like rotting corpses. Don't you understand? You're a fucking dumbass if you can't notice these corpses. These probably kill me. Final backstory. I think I do. What? Oh, what? I understand. So she sees everyone with like black faces, yeah. It's a pretty common thing for like stories anyways. So she killed everyone. Yep. And who does not love her back? Oh, that's fucked up. Would you draw this yourself, John? John, did you draw this? Ah, yes, love. Deep-seated love. End of part 3. You. How did you? I don't. Does not compute. You. You do understand. I love you. But after everything I've done, what do you think of me? I will accept it. Whatever you say. No matter what. So, I have to turn you in. You've killed my parents, my friends, other people, or I won't leave you. I don't think either of these choices really matter. I mean, John's fucked up. He's gonna need someone. Sarah, you are broken. You are a murderer, and those lives you took can never be replaced. You need to first understand this. Your delusions has cost me everything. But I don't think you're beyond repair. I mean, maybe. And for anyone to not try to help you past this. She's killed a whole bus full of, like, kids. His parents. Other people. Her parents. Sarah, I'll never look at you the same again. But I'm not gonna leave you alone in this. I'm gonna be careful until I can turn you into the police. Hopefully. Of course not. What you've done is wrong. The way you think makes me fear for your life, as well as the lives of others. Which is why I can't let you out of my sight ever again. From now on, we're in this together. Now let's hide these buttons. I won't let you hurt another person, and I won't let anyone ever hurt you. What do I think of you? I suppose I'll come to find out. I don't think you know what love is. I think your delusions have warped the term. For me to say, I love you back, it would be wrong. But I will say this. I certainly hope we can come to love each other. You're beautiful. And while your heart may be tainted by a past you can't control, I stand by my earlier statement. You're not beyond help, not beyond repair. You are not lost. You are not lost. I will not lose you. No matter what. Why is the fact she's killed lots of people and, you know, is probably going to be linked to her. Also, I mean, like, casually accepting her, despite the fact she's killed your parents. Friends. I would like that. But I have to go to jail for a long time. Forever. Maybe I didn't say this then. Very much. Thank you, John. So yeah, that was a Cold Love Story by Liam Vickers. To my understanding, this is creepypasta by him. Originally he wrote creepypasta, or maybe it was someone else's. And this is based off that. And honestly, this is pretty well done. It's pretty short. To my knowledge, there really isn't, like, much choices in the game. If you do things that, like, throw, like... Oh, good end. You know. Yeah, good end. Thanks for beta testing. It's finished, pretty much. But, like, the other choices you can make in the game don't really affect. I mean, like, if you don't be, like, super nice to her, you don't get, like, those backstory about, like, the pictures and stuff. And then, like, if you do something like drastic, like be mean to her, or like yell at her or whatever, she'll like just kill you on the spot with very loud sound to scathe your fucking eardrums. But yeah, I think it was a pretty cute game. Maybe cute's not the word I should be using, but it was pretty cool, pretty short, but pretty awesome. I liked it. I will leave a link in the description to his video or the download on it. Thank you. Have a great night.